Good afternoon and welcome to the Wealth of Advice market update on the 28th of August 2020. So it was another positive month for markets during the month of August. As you can see from this graph here, the American markets finished the month as provided the most positive returns. You can see the UK market did very well up until around about the 11th, 12th of the month, then came back down and has recovered a little bit. It overall was a positive month for UK markets, world markets in general. The MSCI World Index there up just over 4%. So again, if we can see markets perform like this on a monthly basis, we'll certainly be happy. But the blue line definitely shows you that there's volatility out there, but positive results all the same. So the daily numbers of the virus is now around about 270,000 globally. But optimism is rising because the broad testing is meaning that more people are getting identified soon as having the virus. And if those people can be isolated, then there's a chance of the spread of infection will reduce. Businesses will like that, markets will like that. That's why we saw the American market on the previous graph rise over the last week or so, because they thought the American numbers were actually overall coming down. Update on the vaccine that a lot of countries are sort of racing to get. China has said that they're going to start vaccinating workers with an experimental drug, rolling that out by November. The Oxford vaccine, which is regarded by some as being the best thing we can hope for, they're saying actually a full vaccine won't be available before winter 2021. So just over a year away, they're hoping there, which is still record speed compared to most of the vaccines in the past. But as we get positive news on that, markets will like that. Again, looking at the news stories from the UK and around the world, the S&P market, the main American index for stocks, hit another record, closing above 3,400 for the first time in its history on Monday night. Apple became the biggest company in the world with a market capitalization. So the size of Apple is 2 trillion. For context, the entire FTSE 100 is worth 2.1 trillion. So Apple is worth almost as much as the FTSE 100. In America, the US Congress decided or agreed to approve another fiscal stimulus package. That will only be good for markets. That's hopefully going to come in early September. So August was definitely a positive month for the markets, as we've shown on the other graph. September should do the same. In the UK, whilst we've seen some negative news stories about certain companies laying people off and job losses, Tesco are going to create another 16,000 new jobs, and there's now a battle to win online customers from all the main supermarket chains. That's positive for that sector. Schools will be going back soon, and that has got to be a boost for the economy. If those people who had childcare issues previously when the schools were off and the children weren't there, that's got to be a boost as well. So I think September should be a positive month based on the news we've had now. The Brexit discussions are likely to reopen again in the next few days. That hopefully will provide a positive outcome. Negative stories. There is obviously the persistent high unemployment that's out there, and that is expected to remain until 2021. And as we've said in previous presentations, those big technology companies in America, some people are believing they are distorting the stock market. The stock market in America is too high because of a focus on those companies. But what you're going to do, they're making a lot of money and they're very, very cash rich. So maybe the market isn't wrong to see them going up. So another positive news in the UK, from the coronavirus, we've seen the actual people dying on a daily basis to fall to basically on the floor. 12 deaths a day is being quoted. You can see that from the graph there. There is an increase in the number of cases, but again, that's being attributed to the fact that we are identifying more cases now because we are doing more testing. Unlike what Donald Trump said in America, more testing doesn't mean more people have it. It just means we can find it soon, and that's a positive thing. And what we're hoping from this, as the testing increases, the number of deaths reduces, the strain on the healthcare system also reduces, that government policy will change, therefore, to mean that the restrictions will be relaxed, albeit with the lockdowns we're seeing in specific areas. But this has got to be a positive stage of this COVID-19 situation. A lot of people were expecting this second spike, this second surge by now. It hasn't happened. So yeah, definitely positive from the numbers that are coming through there. We've mentioned on previous presentations the volatility index, or the VIX index as it's known. Just looking at market returns this week and this month, how they've been quite positive, and what we have seen through the month of August, that the VIX index spiked around about the 10th to the 12th of August. It then came down. It's now on its way back up to around about 24 is the current figure at. It's still lower than where it was in July, but a little bit of a worry that it is increasing. Why is it increasing? Well, again, the fear that Brexit's not going to get sorted out, the fear that the American markets don't know what's happening with the upcoming election, which is now less than 10 weeks away. So it will be interesting to see where this VIX index goes. But to reassure you, it's nowhere near the levels that it was back in February and early March. That final bit of the presentation, which I know a lot of clients look forward to seeing where the portfolios are right now from where they were in February. Again, this notional £100,000 that's invested in our Risk Score 2 and Risk Score 3 portfolios. We're now back up to £98,955. Both portfolios are virtually identical. There's only a few pounds difference in between the two. People ask what is the difference between the two portfolios. Well, Risk Score 3 is for the more speculative investor who has up to 60% in the stock market. Risk Score 2 has around about 40% in the stock market. Over the long run, you would expect Risk Score 3 to outperform Risk Score 2, and it has over the longer periods. But right now, Risk Score 2 is being boosted by the fact that government bonds and low risk stuff in the last few months have done as well, to counter the fact that the Risk Score 3 portfolio actually fell further at the beginning. So we're now almost just 1% away from where we were before the pandemic really struck. So we're almost there. Give us another good September, and I think it will definitely be positive, above the 100,000 figure on the next update that we do, provided there's no sort of unexpected shocks and news stories that we're not sort of expecting right now. So definitely positive to see that graph where it is. When we look at the actual model portfolios in general, through the month of August, all of our model portfolios were positive through the month of August, which is, again, for any client invested, is a positive thing. There has been some volatility there, but it is positive. The Royal London Government portfolios also performed well during the month of August. The Government Retirement Income range, which is the more cautious portfolios for those clients who are in drawdown with those portfolios, both prove very positive. As you can see, the number 4 outperforming the number 3, which is showing you that the ones that have a slightly higher exposure to the stock market did a little bit better. The same applies to the Governed portfolio range, which is the pre-retirement range. The Governed 7 outperforming the Governed 5 for similar reasons. So markets continue to go up and down through the month, but hopefully end the month positively. Let's see if we can achieve that next month. So thanks for listening to another update from Wealth of Advice. Certainly starting to feel like we're getting over the worst of what's been before us. Markets are more positive. Business appears to be getting back to where it was. Our clients are coming in, having review meetings again, and get some positive numbers on where the funds have gone over the last 12 months. So if you need anything from us, please get in touch. But thanks for listening.